Well, good morning, YouTubers. Everyday BS coming at you from Northwest Arkansas on a rainy, stormy day. Trying to avoid all the school bus traffic. So I was thinking about something yesterday, and actually for the past couple days, but it really hit home for me yesterday. When I was a boy, I'm talking a small boy, like 5, 6 years old, maybe 7, here in the United States, we had a, I don't know if it was a gas shortage or an oil embargo, but anyway, gasoline got basically rationed, or there wasn't as much available for the demand. And so you'd have fuel lines, which, you know, today if, you know, you got to wait to get a pump, everybody, you know, kind of flips out. But what made me think about it was I'd been hearing different people that I know say that they went to places and certain pumps were shut down, or certain places didn't have fuel. I thought, man, that's kind of weird that that would happen. Anyway, in this area, let me know down in the comments if it's happened in your area. But anyway, in my hometown, I went to get gas yesterday, and they're out of premium, which is very odd. For one, you know, I don't think many people use premium. I generally just use it in my motorcycle and in my like my small engine stuff, like my lawnmower and stuff like that, but not in my car. And I know I probably should use it in my car too, but I'm driving a Navigator, man. I'm like driving the Exxon Valdez. Again, for people that may not know, if you're younger, the Exxon Valdez was a big oil tanker that spilled up in Alaska, caused a big to-do. But anyway, so I was wondering if that's happening anywhere else. You know, again, with my whole supply and demand thing that I was talking about yesterday on my drive. You know, if fuel becomes rationed or not as available as we Americans are used to, I mean, what's that going to do to things? You know, so I would suggest, and it's something that I started doing as soon as, well, actually I've done it for a little while now, but I got more serious as soon as I started hearing about, you know, different gas stations not having fuel. Every time I go anywhere, on my way home, I top off. You know, whether I go 10 miles or 100 miles, I top off. So think about that. And if you've got gas cans, I would top them off too. Top off all your vehicles, not just the one you drive. Because, you know, worst case scenario, you got a tank full of gas. Nothing. If it turns out to be nothing, you got a tank full of gas, but you know, it may save you some hassle later. So just a word to the wise, that's what I'm doing. So anyway, as far as this whole supply thing goes, I'm real curious how it's affected other people's jobs. You know, my job, it's I work in sales, selling motorcycles and ATVs and side-by-sides. Side-by-sides are pretty much all gone and for our dealership, and we're a top-of-the-line dealer. We're one of the first ones that Honda sends side-by-sides to. And we basically sold everything we have or had, and we've pre-sold everything that's coming in. So everything that's coming out of truck that we know of, has got a deposit on it already, so it's already pre-sold. And it's starting to get to where we're going to have to do that with ATVs or four-wheelers, which is an interesting predicament to be in. But I wondered, how that's affecting other people. I'm wondering if it's going to affect my job. If they're going to say, well, we really don't need that many sales guys right now. We need a couple, basically, order takers. So, you just stay home for a while or maybe get laid off. I don't know. Shorter work week. I don't know what they're thinking about. It's still kind of early in the game. Quite honestly, I don't think my boss has considered it as seriously as I have, because it affects me probably more than it does him. Or at least in my world, it seems like it does. I guess we all think about ourselves first. So I'm just wondering about that. Fuel being a little short. The demand is up for stuff, but the supply chain hasn't caught up. Are we going to have another toilet paper issue? Is that going to pop up again? Not that I ever thought that was a big deal. In the worst case scenario, you got a washcloth. As long as you still got running water, it's not that bad. And it's so refreshing. So anyway, let me know down in the comments if you're being affected by different shortages, or if at your place of employment, if it's affecting you and how it's affecting you. I'd be real curious to know. This is the uncomfortable silence where I try to remember the other thing that I wanted to discuss. Anyway, there's some nice scenery of my epic ride into work. There's some cows. I've got to get this window fixed soon. My wife comes back from visiting our daughter this Saturday, so I'd like to have that fixed before she comes back. So I remember what it is. Okay, so what are some of your ideas for side gigs or side jobs or things to bring in extra income for you or your family? I don't know if you were paying attention at the very beginning. I was dropping off a package. It was basically a shirt that I sold on eBay, which rolls into the thing that I wanted to talk about. I'm kind of bouncing all over here, but we'll cover this next. Okay, so shipping. I don't know if anybody's had any experience with the post office in the last few months, but they're taking forever to deliver packages. I had to have a package delivered to another state. It was just some documents. And I went to overnight it. They told me don't even bother because it won't get there. So don't bother paying extra. Just send it priority through the post office. So I took the young lady's advice and I sent it out priority, thinking, well, it'd still get there, basically the same time. Oh no. Didn't get there in 2 days, didn't get there 3 days, didn't get there 5 days. It took basically 2 weeks, and I had to have that package there within a couple days. Talk about a headache, and there was a lot counting on that package, so it caused a lot of other people a lot of headaches and problems, and cost me a bunch of money because of the post office. You might say, well, why don't you use UPS or FedEx? I live on middle of nowhere. UPS and FedEx are not convenient at all. And when I was shipping that package out, it was right after there was that little snowpocalypse storm down in this area, which, you know, nobody talked about Arkansas that much, but they talked about Texas. But it affected Oklahoma and Arkansas as well. So everybody was dealing with that. But I had noticed things before that. Like I had a little side hustle where, you know, you've seen that I've got chickens. Well, my chickens are Americana chickens. Or people call them Easter eggers because they lay colored eggs. They're generally a blue or green. Most of the time they look like really big robin eggs, which is cool. You know, people want that. And I would sell my fertilized eggs and then ship them out. Well, I started to notice that, you know, people were complaining about the eggs. For one, they were getting, you know, busted, which, you know, happens. I mean, they're eggs. But it was happening a lot. First, it was none, and then all of a sudden, you know, I was having to reship eggs because it was just so ridiculous. I thought maybe I was packing them poorly. So I changed how I packed them, and it still happened, not as badly. But whatever they were doing at the post office was messing up the eggs. They were basically getting scrambled before they got to my customers. So after a couple, you know, negative reviews, you know, because the customer, you know, obviously they don't want to blame the post office because that doesn't do them any good. They want to blame you. So they give you a negative review. And so my word is my bond. So, you know, I was like, well, I don't want them destroying my name. So I stopped doing that little side hustle. And it was pretty lucrative for me. Be amazed at what people pay for fertilized eggs, especially for a desirable breed. So hopefully the post office will get back to normal, or maybe I'll have to find or set up a regular route with UPS maybe, and do send them UPS, find out, make sure that they can take care of them, get them there timely, because you know, you've got, you know, a certain amount of time that you can have a fertilized egg, you know, not being sat on or whatnot before, you know, it's no longer viable. What that time is, I don't know. I've waited over a week before and they've turned out fine, but still. So anyway, that was one of my side hustles. So that cut into, you know, a good little form of income for me. You know, I was making, you know, another, you know, $100, $150, sometimes $200 a month just selling fertilized eggs. So I kind of missed that. So now my wife had posted a bunch of her clothing online that she no longer wears. She really likes clothing. Well, anyway, it was some nice stuff and hard used, some not at all. But anyway, so been selling that stuff online and sending it out. And you know, I've already gotten a negative review on one of those items, and partially my fault, partially the post office. So I was wondering if anybody else has noticed that in their area, or is it just Northwest Arkansas? I don't know. So anyway, those are my thoughts for the morning. Y'all can get back with me down in the comments. Let me know what's been going on in your area. I'd appreciate it. You know, if nothing else, I'm sure everybody else that reads the comments would appreciate it. And do me a favor, if you could, like this video. I'm trying to get this channel rolling. If you got any advice for me, you know, as long as it's positive, I'd appreciate it. And see you around. See you, YouTubers.